It's always nice to carry more ammo. Hey everyone, Dylan Schumacher, Citadel Defense, and today we're here to talk about the magazine insert. This is a pretty simple product, right? So I'm not going to belabor it too much because it's designed to carry 2 extra magazines for your Spectre chest rig and sit inside the map pocket, right? So the concept is pretty simple. However, I do want to talk a little bit about the construction and then the philosophy of use. So first of all, the construction, right? This has these 2 Tigris stays on the sides of the elastic of the magazine insert. And what that does is it allows the pocket to stay open when it's in your chest rig rather than collapsing flat, so that you can more easily re-index those magazines and then of course, you know, put them back in the pouch, right? That is the purpose. Now, what I would recommend to you actually is to remove these elastic retainers. They're not for me. I mean, if you're doing cool guy stuff and you're jumping out of helicopters or planes, or you just like extra attention, which I totally understand, that's why these are here. But they are removable, right? We have 2 holes drilled in the front and then 2 holes drilled in the back, and that's what the elastic retainer goes through with this little nylon tab on top. Now what I do is I remove these entirely and I just run them as speed reload pouches. Like I said, they stay open pretty good in the map pocket, and then I use these as my speed reload, and then I can easily re-index the magazine. It's actually harder to do outside the pouch, that's funny. I re-index the magazine back in here, right? And then when I'm done or when I have a break or whatever, I would feed magazines from my main chest rig back into these 2 pouches, and I would try to use those as my speed reloads. I've also found a lot of success with putting a mag pull on my metal mags and running those in here as well. The reason is that the metal mags are a little slippery, and because this runs pretty high, it can be a little tough to grab that metal magazine. So the metal ones, I do find that the mag pull actually helps quite a bit in getting the magazines in and out of here. If you're running PMags like most of us are, you're not going to have that issue. The PMags, of course, they have that extra lip on the top of the magazine, right? And that gives you a very firm purchase. So if you run PMags, like I said, like most of us do, you are not going to have an issue as far as getting a good purchase on the magazines. If you run the metal ones, you can still do it, but I would definitely recommend those mag pulls because it makes it a lot easier to pull out of the pouch. So my main philosophy of this, like I said, when I created this product, was to have a place, 1, to carry 2 extra magazines, because that's always nice, but 2, to have a place to carry a speed reload where I don't have to pull the whole flap up, right, get the magazine out and then get moving. Totally works, obviously completely functional, but if you like being a little bit faster, this is a really good spot. The other thing that I will say is, in my testing of these, I like that they sit very deep. I have not lost any magazines. I've been running around, I've been crawling around, I've been doing whatever. I've never lost any magazines from these. When this is in the map pocket and pulled tight to your body, you're not gonna lose those magazines. If I turn this upside down right now, the metal one will come out, right? Like that's gonna come out when I shake it. The plastic one, however, will not. Okay? The plastic one is in there pretty firm. It's because, of course, on those PMags, right, they're a little bit thicker, so it takes up more space, et cetera, et cetera. You understand how physics work. So the plastic PMags are in there solid. The metal ones, they're just naturally slipperier, excuse me, and they're also thinner, right? So if you tip this upside down with outside of the chest rig, you're gonna lose the mags. Now when you're wearing the rig and it's pulled tight to you, not as an issue, but again, if you're concerned about that, that's why we have the tabs. So that is my philosophy of use. That's how I've been running this as I've been developing this, and I've really enjoyed it. So I hope that it is helpful for you. Right now, these only come in 1 color. That is, of course, Coyote Brown, and it is Velcro on the front and on the back. So you can put this on a plate carrier, on a different rig, whatever. Anywhere you can find Velcro, front and back, that's gonna hold this sucker, you can mount this. I hope that's helpful, and I hope it increases your ability to be a dangerous Minuteman. Do brave deeds and endure.